Hey guys, today we've got a 1v1 analysis video, and I'll probably be fumbling through this a little bit because I'm trying this new pen software, this Epic Pen thing. That way I can draw lines and stuff and just really help kind of show you some angles and things like that, but I will be fumbling through it very badly, so forgive me. And let's see, today's video is Testosterossa, maybe Testosterossa, against Wolfgamer712. I don't know the ranks, but let's just get into it. Okay, yeah, so what I can talk about here is there's an optional kind of guide to like the diagonal kickoff, and I might also show you a little bit what you could have done to adapt to this specific scenario. So I might talk about that first. Let me actually slow this down some. So let's watch this play out one more time. Alright, right here. You should know that you have him beat to this ball by quite a margin. Let me try this pin. What I might actually suggest is, if you do know you have him beat, there's no sense in doing your normal kickoff, like basically slamming it at him, which is what's going to happen. So I think you actually go straight and you end up hitting it, you end up flipping it right at him. Instead, I propose, as you know you have him beat, most likely this left side over here is your best angle to have him beat. So right here, instead of jumping, veer a little bit to the right and try to left side flip or left diagonal flip, and you'll probably not only win the ball, you'll probably have a good recovery with it, probably score an open net. If he decides to challenge that, it'll either leave him here all messed up from his actual flip, or if you actually beat him altogether and he does decide to flip, instead of just sitting there like he ends up doing, he will just send himself this way, leaving you even more time to score. So just a thought. The other option is, and I've watched the replay already, and I know you've done it before, so let me take this back so I can talk about the other optional kickoffs. Is if you want a good diagonal kickoff tutorial, go watch King Ranny, go watch Scrub Killa. I think the common thing between them is your specific kickoff that you do is you come in, you diagonal flip, and you end up back on a trajectory that is straight with this kickoff. So the line of your car goes to it, and you end up hitting right here. Ideally, what you might want to try to alter is whichever way you decide to diagonal flip or front flip or however you decide to kick off, is try to actually land this trajectory. As in, when you actually land before you turn to flip into the ball, you are completely goal side. So you want to be facing the ball straight with your car as if it was a straight kickoff. That way, if he's any angle that's not straight and you reach there first and you flip correctly, your angle of deflection will be very, very favorable in your outcome. You'll most likely win it here, or you'll win it here. The opposite is true with the way you're actually coming now. So if you come at this straight like you are, and I don't think he has a very good kickoff this entire game, but if he did actually reach this first because he's not very speedy, and he did hit this straight, you're most likely going to lose this ball every time. But just a thought. And I think you do the diagonal kickoff a little better later in the replay, so I won't harp on it too much. Let's go. Make it full speed. Alright, so he ends up dunking, so that's fine. So you end up coming around. I think you thought he was going to hit it up. You end up getting basically faked and he scores on. But I want to kind of elaborate on something real quick. Let's pause this, go back. Let's see, where's this? Oh, more. Okay, right here, after the kickoff. So the first thing I did notice is you actually do track well over small boost pads. I think you end up getting, let me actually do red's a little easier to see. I think you end up getting this boost pad, you end up near post, and you attack right here. So I might offer, if you're ever going to go back, especially in ones, and you're not going to actually challenge the ball, but you want to rotate back towards your goal, back post. So that is the post farthest away from the ball, in whatever scenario you're in. Back post, back post, back post is king, especially in the lower ranks. Anytime you push up near post, let's say, and then you're also facing, let's just say this way, if he gets to this ball quicker than you think, if he has any kind of ball control, he will come, and I'll use a different color for him. He will come right here. He could put the ball over this way, and you are going to have a very, very hard time turning around, making backward saves anywhere. So if you actually track, let's just say you went for this boost pad, optional this boost pad, it's kind of iffy, I have to, but make sure you go back post parallel with the goal. Maybe even you could even go in the goal slightly, but be facing out, then decide to make your attack. Just for future reference, that'll make a lot of these plays better. Especially, let's say if the ball, instead of being right here, was actually right here, he decides to cut in, maybe he booms it. If you're already near post, that save's going to be hard. If you're back post, you can cover almost the entirety of the net. So you go up, near post. Alright, I mean, the play right, but he ends up faking you just a little bit, so it's just unfortunate. Diagonal kickoff. While you didn't become goal side, he turned so early. And you both flipped so far to the side, you could see the yellow circle where you had point of contact, that if he had reached this, I'll just get the pin again just to reiterate this, hopefully not too many times. Because you have this angle, he ends up, if he had turned where he was supposed to have turned, which he ends up cutting right here, if he had actually gone a little bit straighter and more goal side, you would have lost this. Most assuredly, like this way. It wouldn't have been good. But because he turned, you end up getting a nice, basically dunking him this way, so it ends up working out. Just a note, try to be this level of the ball when you flip, so you're almost there, you know, be a little higher, and be a little more goal side. That's my number one tip for you. But you end up winning it, so it's all good. Good boost grab. Decent pop, decent recovery. Good turn. Great corner shot. Good goal. Oh, sorry for sound. Alright, same thing again. Let's watch your kickoff. Alright, you see how you're landing on the side of this small boost pad? When you come out of your diagonal flip, ideally, so practice a little bit, try practice where you land on that line, that goal side line of those two boost pads. It'll make these kickoffs a lot easier. You won't have to land so far to the left, so far to the right. And then course correct like you're going to. See if I can pause it, find it. So you end up landing a little bit to the back left, and you have to essentially jump and attack this ball. So notice he actually is straight on this. And so let's actually see, did you end up winning this? This could have gone a whole lot worse. Because you actually are a little bit faster this kickoff, I'll pause it right when it happens. Because you beat him to this, you end up deflecting it slightly to your right. If he had met this at the same time as you, or was a little bit faster, you would have hard lost this ball to your back corner. Right, decent 50, pretty good. You have a chance to score. Okay, he did kind of scare you, make it back to the ball pretty quickly. Okay, got it around him, hopefully go for boost. Nice. Good turn. This is alright. Okay. Good patience in going for the dribble and not just throwing that away. It's decent. I might say you don't have to take these. But dribbling supersonic is hard. 1 second, I think my replay froze. Let's let it catch back up. Okay. I'm just gonna watch this again. Okay, you hit it away. Alright, So it's good to slow down for the dribble, this bounce right here. You caught it a little soon, but I mean, it's fine because you ended up actually capturing it. I think it was that initial touch. So I actually slow way down. So right here, just slow down and wait. Let this ball bounce again off the ground before you try to get it. Because by having so much forward momentum so soon, you force the ball. Look how far you catch this ball in the front of your hood. Meaning you're going to have to use boost. You're going to have to almost go supersonic to even get this ball back on your car to even control it. And a supersonic dribble is one of the harder dribbles to actually have any kind of control over anyway. So if you had waited and let it bounce, you can take a slower approach. You're going to have more consistent flicks, more power, but instead you end up so fast that you have to do this. The ball starts rolling slightly towards your back of your car, and so basically you have to kind of panic flip. Doesn't get any power because your car doesn't have a lot of traction with it. Ooh, okay. I've been hearing the feathering of the boost, and I thought it was an issue. Something to note right here. I'm sure you're aware, but I'm sure it's not something you consciously think of. When you're supersonic, you cannot go any faster by using boost. So when you're about to grab this boost pad here, watch how much boost you waste going from this middle boost pad to the corner to the goal. So let's check it out. So you just grabbed it. I believe you're supersonic now. It's okay. It takes a second for you to actually realize it. Okay. You've realized you're supersonic at 81 boost. So now we're going. You're still supersonic. You're already down to 68. You're still supersonic. And the moment you lost your supersonic speed, you've used almost half of your boost. And I want to point this out for one because, you know, it's ones, and continually wasting boosts will overall or over time just make it harder on you. And two, let's just see. Once you decide to make this save with a little bit of boost, alright, you have 28 boost. And you're going to use the remainder of it on this challenge. And I know this challenge is so... It's kind of... I had watched this replay, so I know what's coming. I think if you had had more boost, you would have actually made better contact on this ball. But because you ran out, I'll slow it way down. You're not supersonic. You jump, and you just end up jumping. It's so close. And just skimming it with nothing. I think if you had not wasted so much on the outside wall, you probably would have met that challenge quicker, and it wouldn't have resulted in a goal. Okay, pretty good straight kickoff. I like the little turn at the very last second to kind of get a little bit of angle deflection because you know you're faster than this player, so that worked out well. It's a good kickoff. I think your one consistently poor thing about kickoffs is you tend to not keep that straight. Like I just said on the previous one where you had the straight line and you actually hit the ball basically dead center with a little bit of variation, which is fine. You keep landing to the side of this boost, basically the side of the imaginary goal side line, and you're having to course correct. And now look where you're hitting this ball by the time right there. Look at the angle that you're getting. This is the angle you really want to avoid. So, whereas you should be straight or even maybe slightly to the side and then come in, you came in from here, and you're way over here to the side. Now look at his angle on the side, and this kickoff, he hasn't done too many speedy kickoffs yet, but this particular one, he ends up meeting with you almost at the exact same time. And because he's more goal side, the angles of this ball really can travel, unless you just have a miracle happen. Right here. And it's gonna bounce in between you and him, and he's just gonna get the advantage. You gotta make sure you're straight, your goal side. If you're gonna concentrate on anything in a ones match, it's gotta be kickoffs. And they're only 2 seconds long, so it's not that long to concentrate. Even if you end up losing it, make it your best kickoff every time. Ouch, and it splits and a goal. Pretty good, actually. Good challenge. Good noticing he hadn't really gotten on his card yet. Could have been a better touch. Good job not wasting boosts falling down, though. That's really the most important part of that. A little bad on the power slide turn, but I mean it all works out. Great demo. Good boost grab. You got lots of time here. Take your time. Yeah, your dribbling needs work a little bit. I think we talked about on the previous one. What you might do. It all comes down to right here. So whenever you start dribbling, I might have a little video segment at the end of the video showing you kind of what to look for in your dribble. But the weighting on it was good. The pop is good. You're just getting too far underneath it too quickly. So if anything, you want your nose, which is currently right here. Let's do red, which is currently right here, a little bit outside the circle, meaning the ball's going to be on top of you or maybe on your spoiler, which is not good. You can't do much with that besides back flip flick. You typically want the nose of your car probably like inside the middle of the circle, right there. That will give you the most opportunities to do something with this ball. And it will give you the most control, because right now, when this ball is so far behind you, look, the only way for you to get back in front of you is to break. But when you break, you're going to have a really hard control from low momentum, keeping this ball from, let's say, spilling off your car to the right. In this case, it could go off to the left or even just straight. And so the key part of making a dribble happen is actually the very beginning of the dribble itself. So just work on reaching this middle section of this circle at the very beginning of your dribble. Yeah, and you want to be careful in your opponent's corner. A lot of advice I give to a lot of people is, try not to challenge opponents in their own corner, especially from extreme angles. So the only direction this ball can go. Now, let's say you beat him this ball. Sure, you might roll it up the wall and you might follow it, but he's got you beat. Even at zero boost, he's got you beat. And the only direction this ball goes is a pinch towards your goal. So I'd recommend you probably veer off to the right in shadow if you know you can't beat him to this. Instead, I think you actually either he hits it first or you hit him into it. Either way, it's a goal against you. Better kickoff. That was really nice. You maintained a little bit to the right of the ball. You end up getting the straight hit right in the middle, so it's good. Worked out in your favor. Yeah, I'm okay leaving that. You probably couldn't have done much above his goal, would have put you back out, so pretty good decision not to follow. And great shot. Good pressure. See, every kickoff is just slightly different. I think that's your biggest thing to work on. This one you had a good goal side line to it. So diagonal flip, you landed perfectly right there. The only thing that I keep seeing happening now is the fact that, so you see this little golden or lit up section of the ball? That's the area of the ball you want to hit. You are consistently hitting below that line. And when you hit below that line, whether you flip or not, the potential to be dunked on, especially if he does hit higher than you, is really high. Meaning it doesn't matter if you beat him there first or not. He's essentially going to roll the ball over the top of you. So if you have to jump a little earlier, just do what you can to hit here and not below that line. And sadly, that leads to a goal. Yeah, I know ones is frustrating. It seems like it's just kickoff goal after kickoff goal, but if you're going to concentrate on anything, make it your kickoff. Really good. You stayed goal side. I like the slight little adjustment towards center at the very end. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to look for. Decent pop. Oh, so close. Good try. A little aggressive, but it works out. Another option there, if you didn't believe in that hit, would be to, when you turn towards them, to basically just fake challenge. Remember, it's dangerous to challenge somebody in the corner, but it ended up working out there. Didn't actually see what happened on this one. Same thing. You came at that ball just too far from the right, even though it wasn't that far, and he just got a more straight kickoff, so it just veered off that way. I think again with the supersonic boost usages, so you notice, yeah, that whole time you kept supersonic. You waste a little bit of boost, but it's all good. Just try to be conscious of the fact that of when you are that fast and when not to waste it. Just a little whiff. That's all right. Good job right there. Not diving at that ball in his corner, just kind of letting it happen. You were a little close for my comfort, but I mean, it wasn't the worst thing. Aha, and nice pop over him. Good shot. Great kickoff. Let's see actually what happened on his side. Again, I think you mostly hit that pretty well in the center. I think he's a bit slow to take off, so that went in your favor. Good job in the pump. Good try. So they get boosts. Great job not going for that. I like the bait. That's all ones is, honestly. Just bait him to hit it. Oh no. Right. So this is a great thing off for him. Okay. You just always try to notice when the opponent's basically, when they're going to have a long recovery time. He just dove way back towards your net. Get the pin. I'm almost certain with how little power you had on that ball. Even if you get these two pads, ideally I would ignore all boost. You have an open goal here. I would just, wherever you're going to land here, go this way. And I'm pretty sure, although I can't tell all the way, that you would meet this ball here and you could get a free net. But I think the potential for boost starving was so great here, I think you just forgot, or just not comfortable with it, so you end up going for boost. Which is alright, I guess. So he has nothing on his side of the field now. Close. Be a little careful in their corner. Alright, good boost grab. Shadowing needs a little work. That was pretty dangerous, especially for a tied game. Oh no. Yeah. Let me just go back and just quickly explain. So you want to kind of shadow, you want to mimic his movements, and you don't want to be all the way goal side. Basically, you don't want to, so goal side would be right here. Your goal's over there. You don't want to be over here yet, because if he takes it behind you, now things are awkward when you shadow. You kind of want to be a little bit where you are, right about here, and then go towards back post. But you want to really mimic his movements. So he's currently this way, and you're currently this way, meaning to actually start mimicking his movements now, you would need to drive forward, kind of go this way, and it's awkward. But if you could stay right about where you are, but be right about here, follow his movements. You know, if he turns this way, turn this way. If he turns back, turns back. You know, make it hard on him, because right now, in a higher level game, this opponent would probably get this around you before he made that shot he's about to make. He'd probably get around you during this section right here. Just a note. And there's some good shadow defense tutorials already out there on YouTube, so I would go maybe look some of those up just to refresh yourself. But you end up turning it and getting a decent thing, but you end up centering it. And it puts you in an unfavorable position. I mean, it wasn't really the wrong thing to go for it. You could have waited, it would have been just as dangerous. Yep. Again, you're not hitting the ball in that center mark. I'm pretty sure you're going to hit this below that yellow flashing light. You're going to hit this. Let me pause it right when it does it. Yeah, you're way low. Even if you're first to this, even if you're last to this ball, if he gets any kind of height, any middle or higher on this ball, he's dunking you, and I believe that's exactly what he does. So focus on hitting right here, not below this line. And I think this ends up being a goal anyway, yeah. Land too far to the side, you had to course correct. The extreme angle your car was at basically made that deflect be unfavorable. So it's just the same things. I'm pretty sure you also hit underneath the balls again. Yeah, you're just jumping. You're jumping a little too late, essentially. He misses, like he didn't panic. Oh, panic there though. That's all right. He's bad touch. Just a kind of a note. I mean, you kind of jumped at this one, so I mean, this recovery's whatever. But you don't need to flip here. It seems like a small thing, and it didn't really affect much of this play. But you know, try to flip less if you can help it. Every time you flip, right there, you're out of the play essentially. Just imagine that. Yes, you're going towards the play, but let's say they're faster, something that you didn't expect happens. You gotta wait for this flip to finish. You would have gotten this ball basically at the same time, maybe a smidgen sooner if you hadn't flipped, but it would have been less risky. Yeah, and I think for these, like, I see this a lot. I think you're turning too soon for a lot of plays, especially around the corners. Like, you're really wanting to get back to this ball, so you hit this. I'm gonna go back a little bit. All right. So you get the ball here. All right, you hit it up, and now you've missed. All right. Now you want to come back into this play. You kind of want to ask yourself, because all you can go for is 50, right? Is the 50 that you're about to be favorable? Now, I believe you're going to come in really sharply right here, and you're going to try to hit this ball. The outcome of that 50, because he's gonna be coming around here. Again, the outcome is anywhere over here. It's basically back towards your net, and you're actually will be basically facing up the wall, just this way. Just if it gets by you, how are you going to recover? So what I might pose is like take wider approaches. Essentially, you know, he has you beat to this ball, right? Since he has you beat to the ball, get in the best position you can. There's no reason to go all the way back or all the way back post, so come all the way out. And if he gets here and he takes this ball, let's say either here, 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 instead of coming in like you do right here, go all the way out and then meet him. And it will probably produce a more favorable 50 out this way, not back towards your goal. But in this case, you actually don't hit it at all, so it goes against you. Alright, last kickoff. He doesn't go for it. I mean, it's the end of the game. But you get a goal. So, all in all, I think your kickoffs need the most work. And I'm not the best at kickoffs, but basically, for now, try to remember to stay goal side and try to hit at that center mass of the ball. And I think a lot of these extreme kickoff angles will start to slowly disappear from your gameplay. Your secondary work, I think, should be dribble mechanics, you know. Less on the flicking, just more the comfortableness of catching the ball and moving with it. Slow things down a little bit, you know, try not to be supersonic dribbling if you can help it. And if you're ever dribbling and you feel like you have no control, just drop it. Just hard break, let it fall in front of you, go for the 50. Hey, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the stuff I saw in your ones video, particularly kickoffs and dribbling. And for both of these, you can basically go into free play. No mods needed, no training packs needed. In fact, especially for dribbling, I don't particularly recommend like the dribble challenge. It's just not close enough to real world scenarios you're gonna get. Because because you really, instead of having the ball drop on your hood, you really, or have it always be still from the start, you really want to be able to control the ball randomly. You know, drive around, hit it, pick it up yourself, be able to turn, you know, in this arena style as opposed to like a straightaway or something. So, but I think for first we'll talk about kickoffs. Honestly, since you can deviate through every single one of these kickoff positions in free play, I recommend you just do this and just work on getting that goal side track. You know, making sure you're comfortable with your flip and turning in so your car, when it hits, is this position. From all, whether it's the front kickoffs here, or whether it's the diagonal kickoffs, you want to be facing this way, and you want to hit that ball right there on that little line, that little light. And as far as like hitting the center mass of the ball itself, you'll know when you do it wrong in free play because the ball will chip up a little bit like that. It'll chip up the highest if you're at the bottom, and if you're a little bit below it, it'll chip up just a little bit. Now, if you actually do hit center mass, it should be like a ground ball. It should roll just like that. And that's your ideal hit, for the most part. Now, for dribbling, what I recommend is honestly, it's two parts. I recommend you take it from center, or however you can get on your hood, and just see if you can control this ball for a pretty long time without using boost. You know, all I'm doing right now is I don't have like a controller overlay or anything, but I'm literally feathering my accelerator, my R2. I'm just kind of pressing it over and over and over really quickly. You know, get to where you understand muscle memory, where your car is in the circle. It's hard for me to describe, you know, where I watch. Typically, I either watch my car, the ball's in my peripheral vision, or I watch the ball, my car's in my peripheral vision. It just kind of changes depending on what I'm doing. You can also learn to kind of move your camera as you're dribbling so you can see opponents. It's a pretty good example of that. And again, I haven't used any boost now. If you can master this, any other dribbling technique you want to learn will probably come pretty quickly. And so, yeah. And secondly, I know the part that gave you the most trouble, at least in that one instance, was off of a bounce. So get you some boost. I also recommend not having 100% boost all the time in free play. Like make sure that when you use boost, it goes down. You know, it pretty closely simulates a real game. Hit the ball. Let's get behind it. Let it roll up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start our own bounce dribble. We're gonna hit it, chip it up, let it bounce. Now we're gonna get under it, and to do the same thing. Get your control. Get it to where it's not, you know, bouncing all the way. You can use boost now if you need to. And so, yep. Let's get it going. You can even chip it off of a wall like this. You can either catch it immediately. You can let it bounce on its own. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. You can let it bounce really fast. You can try to use as much boost as you can. Whatever it takes for you to catch up. It's just really all about that muscle memory on like when it lands on your hood, like how well you control it. Because I know the only thing that happened to you was you had landed so far in front, kind of like this. Now the problem with being so far in front is you have to reverse. You have to tap on your brake to get it to go back forward. And the less momentum you have, you're not going to be able to control whether it goes off your hood straight like that, or if you brake and it falls to the left, falls to the right, you basically have lost full control of the dribble and you're going to have to go for a 50 now. So really focus on that first initial catch. So let's get this bouncing one more time. So what I like to do is honestly, actually me, do the bounce thing real quick. I like to kind of have my car farther behind the ball and then feather my boost to catch up so it bounces up. And then I use my boost to kind of get it going. Or even just to stay on it. If the boost usage makes the dribble go faster, you mean just kind of keep feathering. So let's get this going again. Let's get this off a wall, actually. So let's make this bounce. Alright, so hit it. Ah, it's bad. Okay, so I land, it bounces, I use my boost. And so typically that boost is just to make sure I can recenter myself underneath it, so it hits up. Then I use my boost to kind of like make sure I get recentered. It's gonna bounce, hit it, boost to feather, or feather to boost. Hit this off a wall. You can let it bounce once. The boosting, I kind of also boost the moment. Let's say it bounces, right? And it's gonna bounce on my hood the moment it does. The boost kind of helps stabilize as well. So it's gonna bounce once. You know, I'm trying to make as soft as touch as I can. Maybe kind of like time that boost so it happens right when it does it. And so the better control you have, obviously, the better potential and opportunities for flicks. So that's all I got. I think you, good luck. I think you got it.